is a symbol of the presidency and very soon will come to be known as a symbol of the junior presidency. Our search for 12 young, brilliant minds who we want to be crowning as junior presidents continues. Today we audition some of them as we look for the 12, nothing but the 12, to make sure that they enjoy all this that comes with the presidency. In just a few minutes, our audition commences. The question is, will we find our presidents? Junior President continues just after this.
Get a life, get a gig with Zamtel's new permanent bundle. You heard right, your internet dreams have come true. For only 49 kwacha, you get 7 days of 1 gigabyte data. Internet heaven is now permanent and is here to stay 4G. 49 kwacha for 1 gigabyte all week to download, upload, connect, update, share, stream, broadcast, and just, well, internet. All day, every day for 7 days. So what are you waiting for? Get a life, get a gig today. Zamtel. Live life today.
Okay, so we are counting down to the first person to be auditioned. As you can see, they're coming up to the 4th floor, then the 2nd floor as they're coming up to this audition. 3rd floor, anytime from now, we'll be talking to our first presidential candidate to be auditioned for junior president. Here is no one but Terrence Munga. Here he comes. Terrence, welcome to the auditions.
Thank you very much, Soy.
Thank you. Good to see you. What are you expecting in today's audition?
I think I'm expecting the best because I'm ready for it.
What makes it different from the first audition?
I think I learned from what the judges told me. They told me some mistakes. I think I've learned from those mistakes I made my first audition.
All the best. The judges are right through that door.
Thank you, Soy.
You can go through. Okay, so our first candidate is going through to the audition and we wish him all the best as he talks to our 3 panel of judges for junior president. We wish him nothing short of the very best.
Mr. Munga, good morning.
Morning, sir. Thank you very much.
How are you this morning?
I'm okay.
You are very much welcome to this interview.
Thank you very much.
We want you to relax and enjoy yourself as you interact with us.
Thank you.
You are vying for the highest office of the land, which is the president.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Very much ready.
You are very much ready.
Very much, sir.
Our first question to you, Mr. Munga, is that we as a panelist would like you to tell us what you are going to do when you assume office of the presidency, bearing in mind that education is the foundation for every career. What are you going to do to improve this very important sector?
Okay, thank you. As you've said, I agree to your statement to say education is a very important key to our sector. And I've seen a lot of problems in the education sector when it comes to the curriculum. As we all know, a person after school studies one thing, and that thing is catered when he or she is in secondary school. Now, when we look at our education system, when it comes to the curriculum, you will find that the number of subjects that each pupil is taking is higher than the course that the person wants to study. Take, for instance, if I want to study law in future, why should I take commerce? Why should I take subjects like accounts since I want to study law? So if I'm put into government as the president, I'll make sure that the education sector, that's the curriculum, will change. And the question is, how is it going to change? Each and every pupil in school is going to go to school for the course that he or she wants in future. If I want to study law, which means I'm supposed to take history, RE, maths, English, and civic education. As for medicine, we all know, person who is going to study medicine in future needs to take sciences, maths, and English. How and why should I take a lot of subjects that have got no benefit for me in future? So if I'm put in power as the president of Zambia, I'm assuring to say that work and pupils will be happy with that, because as human beings, we need to do our level best in school.
Thank you very much, Mr. Munga. I have an additional question for your attention. Zambia is a member of the Southern Africa Development Community, SADC in short.
Yes, sir.
Yes. if you became president, which you aspire to be, how would you see Zambia contribute to the development of this very important regional bloc?
I think Zambia has got all the things that we require in order to help the SADC region. So I think as the president, I'll make sure that the things that we have will be able to help other countries in terms of development. We've got natural resources like copper and other things. Why shouldn't I use them outside there and learn from others on how we are going to use them for development? And also when it comes to the improvement of education in other countries, we are one as SADC, so we need to help. So if I'm put in power as the government, I'll make sure that I help my SADC member countries for a future developed generation. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Munga, gender is your agenda as president.
Yes, madam.
How do you translate or interpret the meaning of gender is my agenda? And how are you going to make it happen as president?
Okay, thank you. The way I translate agenda is my agenda is that as a country, we need to be one. We need to unite. Unity, as Zambia's motto goes, one Zambia, one nation. We need to work on that. So if I'm put in power, I'll make sure that 50-50%, 50 men and 50 women, to say, will be my cabinet. When it comes to the constituencies or the MPs in parliament, or let me say, sorry, the cabinet, I'll make sure that the number is equal. Total number of men and total number of women equal, because we need a Zambia that will unite, a Zambia that has got equal opportunities for all.
Well, Mr. Munga, it has been great having you, but before we let you go, what would be your final message to the Zambian people? In addition to what you have shared with us, what would be your final message to your voters out there?
I think for a better developed country, better education system, a free state from corruption, which brings a big gap between the rich and the poor, good national and sustainable development. I am the president for that. Vote for me, and I really appreciate for Zambia will really develop when it comes to economic and social development. Thank you very much.
Thanks. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Munga. I do wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, so the first presidential candidate to be auditioned, the audition is over. Terrence, how did you feel with that audition?
I think it's okay.
It's okay?
Yes.
What are your expectations? Are you expecting disappointment, or you feel you nailed it?
The best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come?
Yes.
All the best.
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's count down to our next candidate. It's a young lady and she is full of energy. This as well is a second audition. Please, welcome to the audition. How are you today?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very fine. What do you expect in the auditions?
I expect to do my best, that's it.
All the best.
Thank you.
I could have just gone up to 10.
Madam Ruth Chanda. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you. You are ready for us?
Yes.
Thank you. You are vying for the highest office of the land, the presidency. Are you aware it's the highest office?
Yes.
You are very much aware?
Yes.
And you are ready for the responsibilities?
I'm very ready, sir.
This is a country which is known to be patriarchal. It's tilted towards the men folk. And you are vying for this office, and you hope to be the first female president of this country. Very, very encouraging indeed. I've got one question for you. What do you intend to do in order for you to make a remarkable impact on the women throughout the country? And so I'm saying, what sort of empowerment strategies are going to put in place to ensure that our women are empowered?
Well, first of all, most women in our country have ideas that can bring development. and by empowering them in a way that we give them funds in which they'll be able to start their businesses and develop our country in that way that they can even be able to lead high positions in government. Then we can empower a lot of women in our country.
You are just talking about giving them money. What makes you think giving money is the only way it takes to empower women?
We cannot just give them money, but we can engage into vocational training and skills where we teach them certain skills where they are able to survive in life.
And for those that want to pursue their careers, want to be presidents like you, what would be the message to them as they go to cast a vote for you?
Pardon?
There are women that will be going to cast a vote for you,
Yes.
who are not in the line you are referring to, empowerment, give them money to start businesses. There are some who want to be career women, doctors, teachers, and those that want to be presidents like you. What's your word to them?
They should go ahead. They should find something that they will be inspired by, that they will have the confidence to do, and then they should be in cooperation with people, those that are doing certain things in order for them to achieve.
Do you know the challenges that your rural women are facing?
Yes.
What are the challenges? Can you give us a few examples? Rural women, those that are in the villages, they are also going to vote for you. What are you saying to them? If you know a few challenges, can you name one?
Maybe we can rephrase the question. We can say, as you are aware, young people are not interested in governance. What steps are you going to, to put across so that these young people are interested in governance?
Of course, as government, we have to go around and tell the people about governance. We need to sensitize them on how governance is all about. We tell them the benefits of governance. We tell them how what governance is all about.
Thank you, Madam Ruth Chanda, the contender for presidency, very high office indeed. I would like also that you share with us, for example, in your estimation, what is Zambia's biggest challenge in your estimation as you come into office? What is it that you want to place priority on to resolve so that Zambia can be a good place for all?
I think we also need to improve certain areas in our country, like for example, the mining sector, where Zambia only exports raw materials. But if we had our own companies here in Zambia where we can produce refined, finished copper and then export it to other countries so that other countries buy from us other than us buying from other countries, I think that would really improve our economy.
Thank you very much. But before we let you go, Madam Chanda, what would be your final message to the entire country? What would you want to say to them so that they can cast a vote for you as the next president?
I would say I think I have everything that it takes. Actually, I know I have everything that it takes. I know I am ready for this, and they should cast a vote for me because I am the one that will bring Zambia to the next level.
Thank you very much, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Candidate coming through from the auditions. Thank you very much, Ruth. How was it for you?
It was okay.
It was okay?
Yes.
Do you feel any pressure?
Somehow.
Somehow. You feel the judges were fair?
No, they were very fair.
They were very fair?
Yes.
All the best, Ruth.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's stand by for our next candidate. Mr. President, welcome to the auditions.
Oh, thank you.
Good to have you. What are you expecting in today's audition?
To expect more knowledge and wisdom to be impacted into the people.
Last time you were accused of rapping. Do you expect the same today?
No, you expect a more matured person today.
A more matured person.
Yes.
All the best. The judges are waiting.
Thank you.
Okay, so as our candidate goes through, remember we're looking for only 12 of these. Could he be one of them? Let's get to find out.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Mr. Joseph Munga.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, and you?
Very well. You look very smart.
Yes, it
Thank
does.
you.
Are you ready for the interview?
Yes, I'm quite ready.
Thank you. Mr. Mlenga, you know that there are so many of you contestants vying for the same post, the #1 office in the country, presidency.
Yes.
Are you ready for the mantle?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm quite ready.
Very good. You know that this country has been attracting investors in various sectors in order to improve its economy. And it has fairly done well as compared to other countries. What would you do if people of Zambia gave you a chance to save them as their president? What would you do to ensure that the investment and the investors continue flowing into this country?
As you said, Zambia is doing better with investors coming in. But quite all right, they are investing, we're doing well, but their investment is not leaving us with enough to develop our country to be like their country where they're coming from. So as they come to Zambia, we have to put in a policy that will help us as a country, as a nation, to quite benefit in a more positive way than we are doing right now. Quite all right, we're doing well, but it has to leave us with a landmark, something bigger than what they are leaving us. Well, they are benefiting about 75%. We have to benefit maybe equally 50%, so that we should have a better Zambia that way.
So in short, you're saying they have been coming and you want the Zambians to get a good deal from the investors.
Yes.
But why would you continue asking the investors to continue coming here as opposed to other countries? Unless you pursue that realization?
As they come to Zambia, you know what I'm saying? They are benefiting more than they should benefit. So if they benefit equally, that would be a fair deal for the investors and for the Zambians. So they should more come to our country to come and have a better profit, and they are developing our nation.
Mr. President, why should investors prefer to come to invest in Zambia? What makes Zambia different from other countries in the neighborhood, in the region, and maybe the continent as a whole? As you market Zambia, what will you say makes Zambia a preferred destination for investment?
They should prefer Zambia to other countries because Zambia has got the resources that they can use to develop their countries than these other neighboring countries around Zambia.
Which resources are you referring to?
I'll talk about minerals. We talk about copper. We have almost the biggest in Africa, the biggest open pit mine. So that way they can benefit. We talk about the water. The water, they can generate electricity from here and benefit tons of money from our country.
Okay, you have mentioned about empowering the Zambian before the foreigner, if I get you right. What policies are you going to put in place that entails that the Zambian is empowered?
Let's talk about the mining sector. If we look at the mining sector, those people, when they come here, they live with the money. So if we look at our Zambia, we have the policy has to be more stronger such that when they come here, for each and every about a certain ton of copper that they get, we benefit a lot. So that the money should remain, it shouldn't go outside. So we have to have a policy that will make them leave the money in this country and not go with it to other countries.
Oh, in understanding what you are saying, Mr. President, you are going to create quotas for Zambians. Say this is specifically for Zambians. If a foreigner has to come in, they would have to come. Yes, amount. They have to come in partnership. They cannot come and set up their thing by themselves. Is that how you understand it?
Yes, they have to work with the Zambians and not let the Zambians work for them. We have to work hand in hand so that they should benefit equally, such as the Zambians benefit.
Mr. President, you are aware that there has been some challenges between the Zambian government and some of the investors in the mines that you are talking about. What would be your comment on that? Because some of the mines are saying we are going to go. I think we can't pay this amount of tax you are telling us. As a president, how would you address such a challenge?
if we look at those investors, they want their fair deal in the manner that they have. But they have to understand that this is our country, this is our nation. So as they come here, they have to follow our policies. But as they come here, it's not like we impose policies that are going to make them not have anything to say. It will be a policy where they have to negotiate with our Zambians so that we can make a fair deal and they can benefit equally.
So you're talking about a win-win situation?
Yes.
And in following that, if you talk about a win-win situation, it comes to to now gender, because that is what everyone is fighting for. What do you understand by gender is your agenda, and how are you going to make it happen?
Yes, from a president point of view, I would like to say that I talk to government. We work in hand with government, and government, we're talking about those subordinates in terms of member of parliaments, councillors. We talk to them, we build more schools in those constituencies, such that a girl child or maybe a boy child, we shouldn't discriminate them from that they are a boy or girl, so that they shouldn't benefit equally. So we talk about, if we're talking about gender is my agenda, and we should make it happen in such a way that everyone should benefit equally, and those are removing the gender-based violence that is happening in these communities.
Mr. President, it's been interesting chatting with you, but we would want to just find out one thing before we let you go. You know, governments borrow money for specific reasons, and if you become president tomorrow and you were to borrow money, what would be that money used for, and what would be the area of focus if you had to borrow money, which you in turn would need to pay back, which the Zambian people would need to pay back at one point?
If I were to borrow money in such a way that money, when it comes to Zambia, we have to focus on one thing. We should look at what is Zambia facing, what is Zambia lacking in terms. We are facing this problem of poverty. So if we eradicate poverty, and how do we eradicate this poverty? In the education sector, our people lack knowledge. So if we invest in our education sector, that way more Zambians will benefit. They'll have more knowledge how to use that money and how they'll be able to make more money such that we can pay back, and we get taxes from these investors, from our Zambian people. We get taxes as we pay them their salaries and all that. We benefit and we can pay back.
Mr. President, it's been wonderful talking to you. But before we finally let you go, what would be the final message to the voters out there who you would want to cast a vote for you?
My message to the people out there is that I am a person of integrity, and by integrity I mean honesty, and who is able to treat everyone equal, the same. A person who is going to be decisive and not deceiving, and by decisive I mean who is able to take tough calls that the nation needs, tough measures when need arises. And I'm a person who is going to run government with the people, by the people, for the people.
Mr. President, we can only wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Okay, so the president is leaving and is coming to meet me. You look tired. You look tired.
Yes.
How would you compare this audition to the previous one?
Here they've got more challenging questions, but as a president, I have to be able to address those challenges.
And do you feel you've addressed those challenges?
Yes.
Well, the best then.
Thank you.
Okay, let's count down to our next presidential candidate. President auditions continue, and here comes our next president. How are you doing?
Yeah,
Big smile.
very much. How are you? Thank you.
What does a big smile say?
Yeah, just say that I need to just showcase what I have as a president, the challenges that I can address, and as a president, what I can do for the people of the Zambia.
I'll tell you one thing.
Yes.
There are 3 challenges, and they're through that door. All the best.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're indeed looking very fine
Yes.
and very smart.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
We are pleased to have you here.
Thank you.
Feel comfortable and relax, and we need you to be open-minded as you interact with us. So,
It's like what?
That was.
Okay.
Mr. Lakwel Sakala.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lakwel Sakala, this is a country of more than 17 million people. And you are among the very few who are vying for the highest office in the land, the presidency. What makes you feel you are the best out of the more than 17 million?
First of all, I would like to thank you for the great opportunity that you have given me to address the people why I myself think that I am the best candidate among all the candidates. One, it's because I have the intelligence that is supposed to have a leader. I have persistence, honesty, and leadership, and I can be connective to the people of the country. And why do I say so? It's because one, a good leader must have the intelligence whereby must know how to make good decisions. Once a leader who is intelligent, you make a decision which is a realistic, and if you come up with that, people for sure they can trust you that our president can do this and that. The ideas that you are coming up with, the people themselves, they'll see that for sure this leader is intelligent, and where he's taking us through what he's seeing is right for this nation, that it can change. And two is that honestness is also very important. When a leader you are honest, people they will trust you because of your honestness, because you stick to what you say. You stick to what you say, and also persistence whereby you as a leader coming up with good ideas, or for example you come up with a law, it is being proposed by the people because you are a good leader. So that's what makes me to be that candidate among the 17 million people.
We need you as government to put in a budget.
Yes, sir.
You'll be the president of the country, and you need to come up with a budget. What is your budget, first budget, going to focus on? What will be the main focus of your first budget when you get into government?
Okay, thank you. The very first thing that will be put into the budget is that we as a government, we must make sure that the budget, like we invest a lot, we put where the money can also finalize, whereby when we as a government, we make up some ideas whereby we sit as a government, and my cabinet will say that we'll come up with a budget whereby we'll invest more money and put more money into first agriculture, mining industries, and investment in the low sectors of the government. So as we come up with that budget, we will make sure that the budget will have more money, whereby when we invest into like agriculture, we put the money into agriculture. We'll make sure that agriculture must produce what is required that we can develop the nation. And in the mining sectors also, we'll invest and put in more money, pump in more money, so that our mining sectors can be producing that is required for the government and for the people of Zambia, so that we can boost our economy. And also like giving out, like never leave the youth empowerment. We also focus on the youth, whereby we'll be empowering the youth by giving them like soft loans, whereby they can start their own business. When they do their business, they fund the government. Even like when they do business again, they also help others in the societies, whereby they'll employ others. And also we'll focus on investment. We'll make sure that we make investment here in Zambia. We have Zambian investors who can invest here in Zambia, and who can make sure that the money of Zambia will remain here in Zambia, will be spent here in Zambia. Also coming to like this free marketing, we will make sure also that we pump in more money.
Mr. President, you've spoken very well on the focus, but when it comes to the issue of the budget, as a government, as a president, where will you first and foremost get this money that you are going to use to put in place a budget? So what are your strategies to raise the necessary revenues that you can use to develop the country?
the very first thing that we can do to raise the monies is that whereby we'll make sure that the taxes that will be coming from the mines and the taxes that will be coming from the agriculture sectors, we'll make sure that those monies whereby when to invest or when to pump into something, we'll make sure that we leave something like, or maybe 30% or 20% of it and 20% from the mining sectors, and we put it together to be 40% there. And then when it's that 40%, again, the taxes, when we have the taxes, again, we get 20% from it, and we put it together. That's when how we can raise those funds, and that's how we can raise those funds. And then we come up with a good budget, which the budget can accommodate everyone, which the budget we can be sure of that this can work.
You know, Mr. President, that issues affect people differently, affect the youth differently, affect the women differently, affect the men differently. What policies are you going to put in place to make sure that these, and that's what is called gender. Okay. What issues are you going to put in place, policy you're going to put in place to make sure that gender is your agenda? And how are you going to make it happen?
Thank you very much. We'll first make sure we come up with good policies, whereby as youth, we sit first with the cabinet. As a president, I must first take into consideration what are some of the issues that are affecting the youths. Then when I come up with those ideas, I address it to the cabinet. I address to them whereby I will do this and this in order to make sure that the youths are not affected in this way. Whereby youths are affected in many ways, whereby you find someone is affected with peer pressure, others they are affected with areas just where they are living, others they are affected with most things that they are found with doing. So in order to implement that, we will make sure that us as the government, we make policies whereby we will make sure that the youths are not affected with negative things, whereby they can lead them into drinking, reading violences. And for the women, also coming to the women, we'll make sure that we make policies that are affecting women, there is GBV, even street vending also is affecting them, because they are not having that much freedom of finding something better to do for their living. You mentioned
street kids or street vending.
Yes, sir.
What measures can you put in place to stop the street kids?
Actually, the way it is street vending, the way it is, but if you look at the
street kids, because those are youth.
Yes. Okay. In order for that, we'll make sure that we come up with something whereby we build some facilities. We build some facilities whereby those street kids, they can be removed from the street. We'll make sure that maybe we just involve the council. We involve maybe the council or the police, whereby they can be taking them from those places and taking them to the facilities that maybe the government will build for them. So maybe they can be reigning there, they can having whatever they want there, whereby when they are there, we will give them accommodation, give them education, whereby when they are there, they will know what to do, what's best for them than being in the street. Because in the street, it's very dangerous, and you know the way it is, the cold there, it's coldness, they are affected with diseases. So we'll make sure that we remove them from the streets and take them to the facilities that the government will build for them, so that they can also be privileged to education and to accommodation.
Thank you, Mr. President. But before we let you go, we would like to know from you what you understand about the motto, One Zambia, One Nation.
All right, thank you very much. One Zambia, One Nation. It's One Zambia, One Nation. It means we must be one. It means that when you are a Tonga, Lozi, Luba, Lunda, Nsenga, Chewa, it means we must just be one. We must be in one accord. We must be united. We must be living as one, because it's One Zambia, One Nation. It doesn't mean no, we need to involve this and these people, no, but we will just be one, moving together, like they say, divided we fall. Together we stand, divided we fall. So we will stand as one Zambia, one nation. That means we must just be one and united.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. What will be your final message to the poor people out there and the rest of the citizens who you want to give you a vote? What will be your final message to them? Why
Actually,
should you?
My final message, it can be like first going to the poor, because the poor also are the people, they are the citizens of this country. They must not feel unprivileged. They must feel also privileged as we'll be coming into power. We'll make sure that we implement, like we put in place some soft loans whereby they can also be assured that we have a good government which is caring and loving to us. And for the rest of the country, I would just love to say that I'll do a lot for you as I'll be coming into government.
Mr. President, it's been wonderful talking to you, and we wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
And we hope we can fly like a noble eagle in the sky.
Yeah, I will do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, that audition is over for our junior president. You've taken so long in there. Did you feel at some point you are kind of taking it off key?
Yeah, no, actually it was that the questions that they were like kind of tougher. Now it was like you need to think whereby you were speaking, but actually I've just showcased what I have, the intelligence. I've just showcased them.
So what result do you expect?
The results are positive.
Positive.
Very positive.
All the best.
Thank you.
Let's stand by for our next presidential candidate. Okay, we continue with the audition, and the gentleman is already here way before time. How are you doing today?
Very fine today.
Another audition is waiting for you. Are you going to pass this one?
Yeah, I'm going to pass. Since I did the first time, this time also I'm doing
This
it.
time won't be any different.
Yeah.
There's only one thing different, eh? There are 3 different judges. Not the first ones in you, but these are different. But if you say it's going to be the same, all the best.
Thank you very much.
You can go right through.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so another candidate going in through for the audition. The question is, will this mean
Good afternoon,
12?
gentlemen and ladies.
Let's find out.
Mr. John, please take a seat.
Thank you so much.
Mwakabwanja pi.
Tawakabwino, kai.
Nice tauka.
Tahamiki.
Mr. Peri, you are welcome to this interview.
Thank you very much.
We want you to feel comfortable, relax, and be open-minded as you interact with us.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Peri, the country Zambia has got so many people, men and women, children, who amount to not less than 17 million. You are among the very few Zambians who want to vie for the highest office of the land, presidency. You would like to become a president of this republic.
Yes.
How ready are you?
I'm very much ready because I have the qualities, of being a leader. And I'm also very much ready because I know where I'm stepping into. I know the office. So I'm very much ready to serve the Zambian people.
Very well. You are aware that we have got a very important institution which is mandated by law to conduct elections. This is the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ. The last elections we had as a country recorded low turnout of voters. How would you want to work with this institution in order to encourage people to turn out in large numbers so that our democracy is enhanced?
I would preach to the Zambian people, preaching unity. The reasons why the last elections proved to be many people not attending to it, it is because of lack of unity in our country. We have seen so many issues, the Barose issue, and there's so many wrangles in our country. That's a reason why the people, the Zambian people, at a low class level, it is making them to not take part in elections. And another thing is that the Zambian people, since the past leaders, They have seen that the past leaders have lied to them. Have lied because the past leaders promised and the promises were not delivered unto the people. That's the reason why they say, okay, we'll not participate in elections because our promises, our voices are not heard. So I will work with the ECZ to sensitize people to say, let's take part in voting because this is our land and Zambia is a democratic country. So each and every Zambian citizen must take part in voting. And at the end of it all, we have...
Mr. Peri, you've referred to the fact that part of the reason why Zambians may not have turned out the way they should have done in the election was due to broken promises. Now, as president yourself, how do you, for example, take development to the people in the rural areas, considering that there is this disparity in terms of development of the urban areas and the rural areas? You are in office. When you are, how would you address this as one way of ensuring that you uphold the promises you have made?
Thank you very much, sir. I will deliver my promises to the people because my constitution will state in creating youth employment. Most of our Zambian youth are not employed. And we have even seen it currently. We have these UNZA graduates from universities that are still roaming the streets of Lusaka. So in rural areas, we make sure that we deliver development to them. Indeed, development, we cannot change Zambia in only months. But we as a government, I in office, I will deliver to them to improve their living standards in those rural areas. We make sure that the water problem is solved in those areas because if we've seen in rural areas, most of our people, they are getting water from lakes, from rivers, and that water is contaminated. At the end of it all, we have high rate of diseases in our country, high cases. We have heard of them, people suffering from bilharzia. So as my government, in me as the president, in power, I'll make sure that to deliver clean water to the Zambian people, most definitely in rural areas.
Yeah, following up on the youth and employment, yesterday I was chatting with my sons and they were saying, you know why youths are not in leadership? It's because they're only talking and they're not doing. The big people are doing. So as a president, a young president, how are you going to make sure that the young people are involved in the governance of the country?
I will sensitize them to take part in politics, to take part in governance issues. You might say young people are only talking but they're not delivering. But in the actual sense, we are saying that a young person has so much strength and a young person can do a lot of wonders. So if I sensitize the youths to take part in national affairs, they will learn and they will even know how to deliver things. If they say anything, they will deliver to the people. We know that a youth can do a lot of things.
Mr. President, tagging into what you have been asked, you brought out a pertinent issue of education. How do you intend to promote this very important sector? Because in your submission, you have indicated that you would want to educate the masses. How do you intend to briefly give us a comment on how you intend to promote this important?
In the education sector, if we have seen currently, we are investing a lot in mining, and the mining sector, it is driving our economy, and we're neglecting these other sectors. In the education sector, we'll make sure that we invest more in the education sector. Right now, we're in the 21st century, and education is the key factor. So we make sure that we invest much in education because the mining industry alone can't just work. And it hasn't been working very well. We are seeing problems about the tax. We are seeing that a lot of money is going out of this same country and it's not staying in our country. So it will be a 50-50. We invest in mining, also invest in education, in agriculture sector, in transport sector. At the end of it all, developing our country, Zambia.
Your final remarks, Mr. Peri, to the people of Zambia.
To the people of Zambia, I would just say, vote for me. I am a good leader. I've got the qualities of a leader, and I can lead the Zambian people. and I can lead them very well in order to develop this country, not only myself developing it, but developing it together, because we're one Zambia, one nation. Thank you.
Mr. Peri, it has been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you very much,
We
sir.
wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so all the best to Mr. Peri. He comes out saying one Zambia, one nation. Is he going to be united at the end of it? How was the audition for you?
The auditions were just perfect.
Were they as you expected or they were better than you expected?
They were just as I expected.
As you expected?
Yeah.
Okay, so wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
This is the perfect time. Been dying to hear from you. I hope that this moment lasts, 'cause it feels so true. Maybe I'm out of my mind, but I know that your love is hard to find.
When we love someone, we become selfless, devoted, and we accept the one we love wholeheartedly. But the question we often ask ourselves is, how far would you go for the one you love? How far would you go to connect their heart to yours every day?
Glad that I'm hearing you.
Zamtel. Live life today.